Hi, my name's Naomi Stonia. I'm a life and marriage coach, and my passion is teaching you the skills that your parents didn't model for you that make our relationships and indeed your whole life a hell of a lot healthier and happier. Because no one teaches us this stuff. No one teaches us how the human brain works, how emotions are created. No one explains to us that when you're stressed and upset or overwhelmed, your ability to process information drops considerably. And this simple stuff makes relationships a lot more complicated than they need to be. This is not great relationships, how successful you are in relationships, how good your intimate relationship is. It's not about luck or personality type. It's not about how successful or clever a person you are. These are just skills that no one teaches us. I struggled with this stuff for decades. I spent decades believing I was some sort of faulty human being until I learned these skills. Life is a very different place for me now with these skills. And so I believe so deeply in this work that now I do it for a job. And I've walked hundreds of people through the process of learning these skills and into happier, healthier relationships with all the important people in their life and successful, sustainable, fulfilling lives using these skills. Now, there are two mistakes that everybody is making in their relationships. And in order to understand these mistakes, you have to understand why we make them. And I'm going to explain to you, but I'm going to explain this to you. And that is, we have we have all these experiences in our lives, and from these experiences we collect up all the experiences in our lives, the good ones and the bad ones, and we create this system, kind of like a guide, kind of like an operating manual, a system of rules, values and beliefs. And we use this to navigate the world, to interpret the world. It's kind of like a guide or an operating manual. Now, the most incredible thing about this is most of this operating manual, most of this system of rules and values and beliefs, you're completely unaware of. And this operating manual feels like a fact. It just feels like the truth, the way things are, but it isn't. It's just your version. It's just your interpretation of the world. And everybody has their own version, their own beliefs and rules and value system of the way things should be done. Now, some of this operating manual might not be very helpful for you. And so, but you won't know that because you're not aware of most of this operating manual. So if you find certain areas of life difficult, if you're struggling and you're not sure why, or you think you know why, but you can't seem to stop doing it, it'll be your operating manual. If there's areas of your life that feel really difficult and it feels really clear and simple that other people need to change for the problem to go away, but they're not changing, that this is operating manual issues. So these are the two mistakes we're making around our operating manuals. The first one is that we compare operating manuals. Now, we don't realize we're doing this, but we're constantly monitoring and measuring others and comparing operating manuals. Now, no two operating manuals are the same. So you're never going to be completely 100% in sync with somebody else. People are unique. And not only do we compare operating manuals and make it a problem when they don't match, we make it personal, but our operating manuals clash. So my rule is not being met. In fact, it's being broken. And it's a rule I don't even know I have. And so when that doesn't get met, there's emotion there, we get upset, and it's confusing and it feels complicated. So this is what this looks like. My rule for cleaning the house, we make this stuff personal. My rule for cleaning the house doesn't match your rule for cleaning the house. And so I make that mean you're lazy. Your rule for parenting is, let the kids stay up late, let them eat some sugar. That doesn't match my operating manual. And so I make it mean you're an irresponsible parent. And then on the flip side, you make it mean you're too uptight, you're too strict to parent. So we make it personal. There's blame, there's accusation in there, and there's emotion involved in that, and it does not feel good. So these operating manuals are the way the human brain likes familiar. This is safety. So we get very attached to our operating manuals. This is our guide for navigating a dangerous world, and we get stuck in these operating manuals. And so when they're clashing, when their operating manual's not being kept, it's scary and it's uncomfortable. So that makes us means we make the second mistake, which is we impose our operating manuals on each other, and we don't realize we're doing this because it's this safety mechanism of that brain of yours. So this is what this looks like. This is how the house should be cleaned. This standard, this is a clean house, and this is the way it must be. Okay, so that's how we communicate, and that's how we impose on each other. And your operating manual doesn't match mine. Your opinion, your rules, values, and beliefs on how clean a dirty a house should be don't match mine. So you resist, you defend. And so then I make that mean, well, you obviously don't care. The house has to be cleaned like this. So I have to do it all to match my operating manual. And I expect you to match my operating manual and do the same, and you don't, and I make it personal. So what's the result of these clashing, the comparing, the imposing? Well, emotion is high, and it makes our communication terrible. The second thing that happens is we get stuck in the never-ending debate about whose operating manual is the right one. It's very distracting. Whose is the right or the proper way to do things? I work long hours because my operating manual is this is how I prove my love for the family. This is how I care and look after the family, is I work hard and I provide for the family. Your partner's operating manual is how you show love for the family is you spend time with them. So the fact that you're never there means that you don't love the family, and you're leaving me to do everything in the home. So your operating manuals are clashing, and what you make it mean when you clash and you try and impose operating manuals on each other is I work all the time, I work so hard and I provide for you, and you don't appreciate it. Well, the other partner says you're never here, you leave me to do everything, you don't care, you're selfish. So these are clashing operating manuals. So problems don't get solved. You have never-ending recurring arguments, or one of you backs down, one of you you feel like you have to lose ground. Your only option is to lose ground to keep the peace. So you have to let go. One operating manual wins over the other, and you feel like you've had to give up ground and you don't get a say, and then you feel resentful and upset. So we struggle to understand each other. We make this stuff mean that we don't care about each other. So what do we do about this? Well, there are simple skills you can learn to sidestep all of this. And there's just two of them. And the first one is learn to direct your focus and attention, learn to understand, bring into awareness your operating system. Understand what you're feeling difficult and why. Learn to notice your emotions instead of being in them, just reacting. Learn to separate the stress and pressure of daily life from your relationship. We dump on our relationships and we mix up the stress and pressure of life with the relationship. And then we believe the relationship isn't the problem. Really, it's the stress and pressure of life. Learn to understand your generational habits. This is your operating system. So understanding emotions, understanding stress and pressure, how it plays out, understanding your generational habits that you picked up. This is your operating manual. And in 3 simple steps, you can just learn to be in awareness. So you can question, is this helping me? Is this hindering me? Do I want to flex on this? Do I want to stick on it? And that creates choice. And instead of just reacting in the moment to be your operating manual, you can learn to choose how you want to respond and react. You can learn to update, maybe upgrade your operating manual. Maybe it served you once upon a time, but you're in a different stage of life and it needs a bit of an update. It might need a bit of a change. When you know how to do this, you learn skill 2, knowing how to communicate productively, even when you're stressed. When we're under pressure, our ability to process information drops. This is just a simple fact. And when you're in awareness of this, there's really simple things you can do to sidestep this, not make it a problem in your relationship. So learning how to have useful conversations that keep going even when it's tough, so you can get to the solutions instead of just giving up, walking away, or going round and round fighting and uselessly about arguments. And learning how to prioritize connecting with each other over winning the argument. So this is about, and under pressure, it's very normal. It's human nature to go into this, proving your point, and we don't realize we're doing it. So how you connect with each other is you describe yourself, how you're feeling. You talk about the situation, not your partner. And this is a skill that you can learn. So those are the 2 skills. That's it. Now, it may surprise you to find out that I do this work with you on an individual basis. And the reason that I work with you individually is because it's quicker and easier to learn these skills on your own. Now, you may be thinking, well, how can one person work as an individual on their relationship? How on earth can that happen? Well, here is a secret that no one tells us. It only takes one person to change a relationship. When one person gets into awareness of what they're thinking and feeling, when one person regulates their emotions, and one person adjusts their responses and reactions, the dynamic in a relationship changes. And if that leads you to think, why the hell should I do everything? My answer to that is you don't. You just go first. All it takes, all that is required to improve a relationship, and improving a relationship begins with one person deciding to initiate change. That is the first step to improving a relationship. And how I help my clients to have the courage and determination and desire to be that person is by helping them understand the benefit to them as a person in going first, taking that first step. These are life skills that you will use everywhere. When you use these skills on a daily basis in every area of your life, you feel calmer, you feel more in control, you feel more confident. First of all, you use these skills in your intimate relationship, then you use them everywhere else, in your parenting, with your wider family, and in your business too. So happier relationships, easier, healthier, simpler relationships are just the start. My clients go on to do so much more with these skills. So the benefit to you of being that first person to take the first step is a self-concept shift in the best way. So if you have a relationship that you would like to work on, your next step is to speak with me one-to-one. I offer a free consultation session. We will take a look at where you are now in this relationship, where you would like to be, and how these skills can bridge the gap between the two. And then at the end of the call, we'll talk about all the specifics of what it would look like to work together. So to book your call, all you need to do is hit reply to this email. The email that you received the link for this training in, just simply hit reply to speak directly with me and let's get your session booked in. Just this session alone is such a valuable use of your time. You're going to get so much information just from this session alone. So hit reply right now to talk with me one-to-one, and we'll talk over the phone. I will call you anywhere in the world, and I'll apply these skills to your specific set of circumstances so you can understand how this work would apply to your unique situation. Thank you. I look forward to speaking with you.